Greetings, Dark Readers, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. I'm your host, Katie, and with me is my favorite co-host, Carrie. Today, we are going to be doing our part 2 of our dark fiction novels coming out for October 2022. Perfect for the spooky season. There's so many to choose from. I am super excited. So I will start. Sorry, Carrie.
Man, I wanted to talk about the books I found. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
So many.
We won't fight.
Yes. Okay, so this one's really short. I just wanted to bring to your attention this book by Alan Moore, who's typically he's big in the comic field. This is called Illuminations. It's his anthology of stories, of sci-fi creepy stories. It comes out October 11. I'm definitely picking this up because I'm a comic nerd. So here's what it says. In his first ever short story collection, which spans 40 years of work, Alan Moore presents a series of wildly different and equally unforgettable characters who discover and in some cases even make and unmake the various uncharted parts of existence. There's a story called A Hypothetical Lizard. Two concubines in a brothel of fantastical specialists fall in love with tragic ramifications. There's a story that's called Not Even Legend. A paranormal study group is infiltrated by one of the otherworldly beings they seek to investigate. Illuminations is a story about a nostalgic older man who decides to visit a seaside resort from his youth and finds the past all too close at hand. There's a lot of cool stories in here. They range from all kinds of things, but it ultimately is very dark, very fun, not necessarily superhero-y, but we get a lot of cool, fun, short stories. They're my favorite. So this is called Illuminations by Alan Moore. What's your first book today, Carrie?
It Rides a Pale Horse. Now that's the title of the book. It's not the book Riding a Pale Horse.
Oh.
It Rides a Pale Horse is by Marino. It comes out October 4. So the Larkin siblings are known around the small town of Woolford Falls. Both are artists, but Peter, Lark to his friends, is the hometown hero. He went to the big city and got famous, came back and settled down. He becomes friends with anybody. But his sister Betsy Larkin, on the other hand, is more eccentric, and she keeps to herself. So when Lark goes to deliver one of his latest art pieces to a fabulously rich buyer, it seems like a regular transaction, and he's met at the gate of the sprawling, secluded estate by an intimidating security guard. Yeah, okay. But the guard plays him a live feed. Betsy is being abducted in real time.
What?
His sister.
Oh my god.
So Lark is informed that she's safe for now, but her well-being is entirely in his hands, and he's given a book. Do what the book says, and Betsy will go free.
What? Okay.
Okay, it seems simple enough, but as he begins to read, he realizes, the book might be demonic, and its writer might be unhinged. And his sister and captors are almost certainly not what they seem, and his town and those within it are changing.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yes.
That's It Rides a Pale Horse by Marino.
Oh my god.
I don't know how you're going to follow that up.
I don't either. I mean, the cover on this one is really pretty. It's called Jackal. It's by Erin E. Adams. It comes out October 4th. So what the publisher has to say is, it's watching. Liz Rocher is coming home reluctantly. As a black woman, Liz doesn't exactly have fond memories of Johnston, Pennsylvania, or Johnstown, Pennsylvania, a predominantly white town. But her best friend is getting married, so she braces herself for a weekend of awkward, passive-aggressive reunions, as we all do at weddings.
Yeah. Don't even get me started.
I know, huh? Liz has grown, though. She can handle whatever awaits her. But on the day of the wedding, somewhere between dancing and dessert, the couple's daughter, Caroline, disappears. And the only thing left behind is a piece of white fabric covered in blood. It's taking. As a frantic search begins with the police combing the trees for Caroline, Liz is the only one who notices a pattern. a summer night, a missing girl, a party in the woods. She's seen this before. Keisha Woodson, the only other black girl in Liz's high school, walked into the woods with a mysterious man and was later found with her chest cavity ripped open and her heart removed. Oh my goodness.
Is her name Snow White and the Huntsmen didn't help her? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Ugh. Liz shudders at the thought that it could have been her, and now with Caroline missing, it can't be a coincidence. As Liz starts to dig through the town's history, she uncovers a horrifying secret about the place she once called home. Children have been going missing in these woods for years. All of them black, all of them girls. It's your turn. With the evil in the forest creeping closer, Liz knows what she must do. Find Caroline or be entirely consumed by the darkness, or just leave the city, or wherever she is, this terrible town.
Yeah, get out.
God. Okay, so this book is called Jackal, and I am definitely picking this one up. This one's up my alley for sure. This is by Erin E. Adams.
My next book is called Lavender House. It's by Lev A.C. Rosen, comes out October 18, and it's described as Knives Out with a queer historical twist.
Whoa.
So it's set at Lavender House in 1952, the family seat of recently deceased matriarch Irene Lamontagne. She's the head of the famous Lamontagne soap empire. Her recipes for her signature scents are a well-guarded secret, but that's not the only secret behind these gates. This estate offers a unique freedom where none of the residents or staff hide who they are, as you'd probably have to in 1952. But to keep their secret, they've needed to keep others out, and now they're worried they're keeping a murderer in. So Irene's widow hires Evander Mills to uncover the truth behind the mysterious death. He is known as Andy. He's been recently fired from the San Francisco police after they caught him in a raid on a gay bar. So he's happy to accept a job. His calendar's wide open, and his secret is the kind of secret that this family understands. But he'd never imagined a world like Lavender House. He's seduced by the safety and the freedom that he can find behind its gates, where a queer family lives honestly and openly. But that honesty doesn't extend to everything, and he quickly finds himself a pawn in a family game of old money, subterfuge, and jealousy. Ooh. And Irene's death is only the beginning. That's Lavender House, a novel by Lev A.C. Rosen.
My next book, again, these covers this month are crazy cool. So this is called Little Eve. It's by Catriona Ward. It comes out October 11th. It's basically a book that's split into two. We have the top portion of a creepy castle house, but it looks all weird and distorted. But then you look on the mirrored image, like it's being mirrored in a lake, and it's totally clear and totally, you can recognize it. It's a weird cover, but it's cool. So this apparently was a winner of the Shirley Jackson Award for Best Novel. Here's what the publisher has to say. On the wind-battered Isle of Altanahara, off the wildest coast of Scotland, of course it's from Scotland, a clan prepares to bring about the end of the world and its imminent rebirth. The adder is coming, and one of their number will inherit its powers. They all want the honor, but young Eve is willing to do anything for the distinction. A reckoning beyond Eve's imagination begins when Chief Inspector Black arrives to investigate a brutal murder, and their sacred ceremony goes terribly wrong. And soon all the secrets of the Isle will be uncovered. Simple explanation, I'm drawn in. It's called Little Eve. It's by Catriona Ward.
My next book is Lute by Jennifer Thorne. It comes out October 4. It almost looks like a graphic novel on the cover. It's described as Wicker Man meets Final Destination.
Oh, God.
It is a folk horror novel about love, duty, and community. It's set on the idyllic island of Lute, and every 7th summer, 7 people will die. No more, no less. So Lute and its inhabitants are blessed year after year with good weather, good health and good fortune, and they live a happy life untouched by the war that rages around them, so it's only fair that every 7 years, on the day of the tithe, the island's gift is honored. Well, Nina Treadway is new to all this. She's a Florida girl by birth. She became a lady through her marriage to Lord Treadway, whose family has long protected the island. She's heard about the day, of course, heard about the horrific tragedies, the lives lost, but she doesn't believe in it. It's all superstitious nonsense. Stories told to keep newcomers at bay and youngsters in line. Then the day begins, and it's a day of nightmares, of grief and reckoning. But it's also a day of community, of survival and strength, of love. When the day ends, Nina and Lute will never be the same. This kind of is making me think of Shirley Jackson's The Lottery also a little bit.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So the publisher is Tor Nightfire, so we know it's going to be good because they don't publish crap. The title is Lute, and it's by Jennifer Thorne, and I'm definitely going to pick it up.
I think that one's a lot of people are talking about that book too. My next book is called Malice House. It comes out October 4th. It's by Megan Shepherd. Apparently this is a tale of dark magic, family secrets, and monsters that don't stay on the page. Of all the things aspiring artist Haven Marbury expected to find while clearing out her late father's remote seaside house, bedtime stories for monsters was just not on that list. This secret handwritten manuscript is disturbingly different from his Pulitzer-winning works. Its interweaving short stories crawl with horrific monsters and enigmatic humans that exist somewhere between this world and the next. The stories unsettle but also entice Haven, practically compelling her to illustrate them while she stays in the house that her father warned her was haunted. Well, at least he gave her a warning.
Yeah.
Clearly, it was just dementia whispering in his ear, right? Reeling from a failed marriage, Haven hopes and illustrated bedtime stories can be the lucrative posthumous father-daughter collaboration she desperately needs to jumpstart her art career. However, everyone in the nearby vacation town wants a piece of the manuscript. Her father's obsessive literary salon members, the quote ink drinkers, her mysterious yet charming neighbor, who has a tendency towards 3 a.m. bonfires. Oh. There's also a young barista with a literary forgery business.
Well, now I want to have a bonfire at 3 a.m.
I know.
I'll set my alarm and wake up at 2:30 and get ready.
I don't see any problems with these people. They all seem pretty fine. But when a monstrous creature appears under Haven's bed right as grisly deaths are reported in the nearby woods, she must race to uncover dark, otherworldly family secrets, completely rewriting everything she ever knew about herself in the process. Wow, there's a lot going on in this book. Holy moly. This is called Malice House. It's by Megan Shepherd. This would have been a great summer read, I think. This would have been really fun.
My next book is called The Other Side of Night. It's by Adam Hamdy, Hamdy. Comes out October 11. The publisher is Atria Books. It begins with a man named David Asha writing about his biggest regret, his sudden separation from his son Elliot. In his grief, David tells a story. Next, we step into the life of Harriet, a police officer trying to clear her name after a lapse of judgment. She discovers a curious inscription in a second-hand book, a plea. "Help me! He's trying to kill me!" Who wrote this note and who is he? Well, this note leads Harriet to David Asha, who is last seen stepping off a cliff. Police suspect he couldn't cope after his wife's sudden death. Still, why would this man jump and leave behind his young son? Quickly, Harriet's attention zeroes in on a person she knows all too well, Ben. Once the love of her life, a surrogate father to Elliot Asha, and a trusted friend to the Ashas. Ben may also be a murderer. I think there's maybe a bit too much going on for me, but it supposedly has a good twist and is very suspenseful, so we thought we would drop it in here. That's The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy.
I don't know why I'm the one with this book because I hate dolls and it's about a doll.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I think it's mine.
What did dolls ever do to you?
Oh, they're so creepy. My grandma used to make them, and there would always be creepy doll parts around, so it wasn't a fun thing to see in the middle of the night. Anyway, that's my long-winded story. So this next book is called Sebastian. It comes out October 18th. It's by P.D. Cacek, and it does have a really creepy but simple cover. It's just some person with a suit, but it has no face. I hate it. A child-sized doll is the object of his mother's obsession, and he's beginning to wonder why. The son of a world-renowned photographer, Morgan Riley, is familiar with his mother's creative eccentricities. Having been the subject of one of her photographic series, he knows all too well how focused she can become with a new project. So he's not overly concerned when his mother shows him her newest series that spotlights a small, featureless, white plastic mannequin the size of a 2-year-old child that his mother has named Sebastian. Oh God, I hate this. However, as Morgan watches his mother's obsession with the mannequin grow, he begins to question her sanity and fear for her safety. Oh no, this would creep me out, I think. If I'm feeling brave, I might pick this up. It is called Sebastian. It's by P.D. Cacek.
My next book is called Self-Portrait with Nothing. It comes out October 18. It's by Aimee, Pokwatka. It's described as Orphan Black meets Fringe. So, if a picture paints 1,000 worlds. Pepper Rafferty has been abandoned as an infant on her local veterinarian's front porch. People, that's not where we leave our unwanted babies.
Oh, come on.
That's for dogs. That's for puppies. Baby humans go to hospitals and fire departments, just to be clear. But she was raised by 2 loving mothers, and now she's 36 and married to her stable, supportive husband Ike. But she's never told anybody that at 15 she discovered the identity of her biological mother. But that's because her birth mother is Ulla Frost, a reclusive painter famous for the outrageous claims that her portraits summon their subjects' doppelgangers from parallel universes. I'm in.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm in. Researching the rumors, Pepper couldn't help but wonder, is there a parallel universe in which she's more confident, more accomplished, better able to accept love? A universe in which Ulla decided she was worth keeping? A universe in which Ulla's rejection doesn't hurt too much to share. This sounds like a YA book, but it is for adults. The publisher is Tor.com. It's Self-Portrait with Nothing by Aimee Pokwatka. Excuse me.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You might be intrigued by this next one, too. It's called Shadow Sister. It is by Lindsay Marcott, and it comes out October 18th. Ava grew up in a haunted mansion, envied by all her friends. But when her mother died mysteriously there, the thrills of Blackworth Mansion became nightmares. Ava never accepted that her mother perished from natural causes, but no one would believe her. 17 years later, Ava returns home to unravel the truth of her mother's death, and her own demons quickly follow. Her estranged and vindictive father may be stalking her. Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh no. Her secretive new sister-in-law lands on her doorstep with troubles of her own. And then there's the strange girl who may or may not be haunting the grounds. Whoa, there's lots of terrible things happening. Even when Ava's romance with her first crush is shadowed by her suspicions, when Ava makes a terrifying discovery on the property, she must decide just how far into the past she's willing to go. Some secrets can be deadly, especially the ones Ava's kept hidden in the dark. This sounds fun. So this is called Shadow Sister. It is by Lindsay Marcott.
My next book, I'm going to try to read this description with a straight face.
Uh-oh.
I want to point out that it is published by Berkley, a very, very respectable publisher who only publishes really awesome books. It's called Sign Here by Claudia Lux, Lux. Comes out October 25. It's a debut novel about a guy who literally works in hell and he's on the cusp of a big promotion, but only if he can get one more member of the wealthy Harrison family to sell their soul. Unfortunately, his name is Peyote Trip. I can't.
No!
He's known as Pay, and he has a pretty good gig in the deals department on the 5th floor of hell. Sure, none of the pens work, the coffee machine's been out of order for a century, and the only drink on offer in hell is Jägermeister. But Peyote Trip has a plan, and all he needs is one last member of the Harrison family to sell their soul. So they retreat to their family lake house for the summer with their daughter Mickey's precocious new friend Ruth. And the opportunity he's waited a millennium for might finally be in his grasp. And with the help of his charismatic co-worker named Calamity...
No, come on.
he sets a plan in motion. But things aren't always as they seem on Earth or in hell, and there's old secrets and new dangers scraping away at the Harrison's shiny surface, revealing the darkness beneath. Everyone must face the consequences of their choices.
Jesus.
It's 416 pages of apparently humor. I think I don't have a good sense of humor, and I will skip it, but I wanted those of you that do to know about it. It is Sign Here by Claudia Lux.
Oh, sorry. I have to gather myself. Wow.
Yes,
Sorry. No, don't apologize. It's not your fault. All right. My next book is called The Storyteller's Death. It is by Dávila Cardinal. It comes out October 4th. There was always an old woman dying in the back room of her family's house when Isla was a child. Always an old woman? Oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. Anyway, Isla Larson Sanchez's life begins to unravel when her father passes away. Instead of being comforted at home in New Jersey, her mother starts leaving her in Puerto Rico with her grandmother and great aunt each summer, like a piece of forgotten luggage. When Isla turns 18, her grandmother, a great storyteller, dies. It is then that Isla discovers she has a gift passed down through her family, Cuentistas, I hope I said that correctly. The tales of dead family storytellers are brought back to life, replaying themselves over and over in front of her. Ooh, I like this. At first, Isla is enchanted by this connection to the Sanchez Cuentistas. But when Isla has a vision of an old murder mystery, she realizes that if she can't solve it to make the loop end, these seemingly harmless stories could cost Isla her life.
Uh-oh.
This is published by Source Books Landmark. This book sounds really intriguing and very cool. It's got a beautiful cover too. So this is called The Storyteller's Death. It is by Dávila Cardinal.
My next book is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. She wrote Cackle last year that everybody was talking about on Book Talk and Bookstagram. So Such Sharp Teeth is a werewolf novel. Rory Morris is not thrilled to be moving back to her hometown even if it's temporary. There are bad memories there. But her twin sister Scarlett is pregnant and estranged from the baby's father and she needs support. So Rory returns to the place she thought she'd put in her rearview mirror. After a night out at a bar, she runs into Ian, who is an old almost flame. She hits a large animal with her car, and when she gets out to investigate, she's attacked. Rory survives miraculously, but life begins to look and feel different. She's unnaturally strong. Okay, I'm not seeing any problems so far. And good. She has an aversion to silver, and a big deal, wear gold anyway. But suddenly the moon has her in its thrall. She's changing into someone else. Something else. Maybe even a monster. I'm still not seeing a downside. I'm sorry. But does that mean she's putting those close to her in danger? Or is embracing the wildness inside of her the key to acceptance? It's a darkly comedic love story. It is another book from Berkeley. It's Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison.
Very cool. I actually don't think I've read a werewolf novel in a while. I think maybe I have to.
I wonder if they're coming back.
Yeah.
It is fall. The wolf season of the wolf.
Yes, we should do it. That sounds fun. All right, my next book is called Uncanny Times. It's going to be a part of a series of books called Huntsmen. It comes out October 18th. This is by Laura Ann Gilman. So, the year is 1913. America and the world trembles on the edge of a modern age. Political and social unrest shift the foundations. Technology is beginning to make its mark. But in the shadows, things from the past still move. Things inhuman, uncanny. And the, quote, uncanny are no friend to humanity. But when Erin and Rosemary Harker go to investigate the suspicious death of a distant relative, what they discover could turn their world upside down and change the, quote, Huntsmen forever. I'm really excited. This sounds really interesting. So this is called Uncanny Times. This is the first book for the Huntsmen series. This is by Laura Ann Gilman.
My final book today is When Life Gives You Vampires.
Ooh.
Part of the Slaying It series, apparently. It's by Gloria Duke. Comes out October 4, along with every other book on the planet. Seem to be coming out October 4.
Yes.
Can you imagine the people that work at bookstores having to unbox everything on October 3 and set it up? Let's clap for them. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
hard workers.
Good job.
Okay. This book is described as Bridget Jones for the vampire obsessed.
Oh, God.
It's a romantic comedy book. Single plus-size vampire desperately in search of a life. So 25-year-old Lily Baines is used to waking up hungover, overweight, and underemployed. Waking up with fangs? Not so much. But when a little light necking has more serious consequences than she ever imagined, Lily's determined to get to the bottom of it or die again trying. And Tristan hadn't meant to turn Lily. It's against vampire law. But now that she's here, they need to team up to save both of their hides. They strike an uneasy truth and they fend off other vampires. Lily has a work rival turned slayer.
Ooh.
And her mother has a tone-deaf romance and fitness advice that she gives her. And all the while, Lily faces down her insecurities about the fact that she lives in a diet-obsessed world with a body that will never age, never die, but also never change.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So that is When Life Gives You Vampires by Gloria Duke.
My final book of today is called The Witch in the Well. This sounds super creepy and perfect for Halloween season. It's by Camilla Bruce, and it comes out October 4th, like everything else. So, this is a dark Norwegian thriller, and she is the author of the very, very famous book, You Let Me In. So, here's what the story is about. When two former friends reunite after decades apart, their grudges, flawed ambitions, and shared obsessions swirl into an all-too-real echo of a terrible town legend. Centuries ago, beautiful young Elspeth Clark was accused of witchcraft after several children disappeared. Her acquittal did nothing to stop her fellow townsfolk from drowning her in the well where the missing children were last seen. When author and social media influencer, whoa, we just went to a totally different timeline. So Elena returns to the summer paradise of her youth to get her family's manor house ready to sell. The last thing she expected was connecting with and feeling inspired to write about Elspeth's infamous spirit, the very historical figure that her ex-childhood friend, Kathy, had been diligently researching and writing about for years. What begins as a fiercely competitive sense of ownership over Elspeth and her story soon turns both women's worlds into something more haunted and dangerous than they could ever imagine. Interesting. You know, it's kind of lame that Elena was taking her ex-friend's research and trying to kind of make it her own, so I get it. I'd be mad too. But this story sounds interesting, and Camilla Bruce is a fantastic writer. So this is The Witch in the Well, and that comes out October 4th.
We hope you've all enjoyed this preview of the spooky season dark reading list that we've chosen for you. You can see more of our content at Dark Side of the Library on Facebook and Instagram. We're also on Amazon Live at amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library, where you'll see us basically chatting about Halloween, horror, tarot decks, playing some horror trivia, etc. over on Amazon Live. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts if you enjoy our podcast. That helps other dark readers find us. Thank you so much, and pour yourself a delicious cup of tea and let's start reading some spooky books.